car is off right now, but the fans continue to run. The temperature gauge is stuck at cold, and the AC doesn't engage, and the fan stays on. So hopefully replacing this part, the coolant temperature sensor, will take care of that. This is a 2016 GMC Terrain. I was having an issue where the fan on the radiators would stay on after the car was turned off. It would stay on for about 5 or 10 minutes and then go off. I also noticed the AC wasn't working and the temperature gauge inside was cold. It didn't move off of cold. So when I looked at those issues, did some research online, looks like the issue is a coolant temp sensor. So that's what I'm attempting to do today. You can see I have taken off the plastic covers. They just snap on. They just pop on over these pegs. There's some rubber grommets in there that snap down over it. For the top one, you have to loosen the ring clamps, one on the side, one on the back, and then also on the side of this, there's a little hose. It just pulls out, and then everything comes off. This is what the coolant sensor looks like. That's the part number for the CarQuest part. I think it was about $18. Not an expensive part. The hard part is going to be replacing it. So it's hard to see. Let's see if I can find it. It's that right there. It is way down in there. There's a piece of insulation over it at first, so it made it hard to see. I'll see if I can get a little video of that so you can help find it. So let me see if I can see it. This right here, this insulation, it's on top of the sensor, covering it. Let me see, focus in there. Right here, so I pull that off, and the sensor is in behind it right there. Once you unclip the wire, there you can see it's purple, and you can see that insulation that's over it. Once you unclip it, you can see the sensor. I'll see if I get my camera down there. So that's the sensor right there. I think it's a 3/4 socket. Actually, it's probably metric. Somebody on another video mentioned 3/4, but I'll use the new one as a guide. Let's see if I can get. So the new sensor is actually 19 millimeter, and I reached in, and the old one is 19 millimeter also. So I will go use my 3/8 ratchet with 19 millimeter deep socket, because it has a fit down over the whole thing, the electrical component, and see if I can get that out. So it is loose. It wasn't very tight at all, so I don't think I have to put a lot of torque on it when you put it back in. I did see videos that say coolant will start to leak out when you take it, so you have to have your new one ready, and as soon as you get that one out, you gotta put your new one back in. You can check your coolant level on the side here before you start and kind of compare it. A couple videos I watched, guys didn't lose that much. Also, the new one should come with a new washer. Make sure you use that so you don't have any leaks. Just fits on over the threaded side, and then that will crush a little bit once you get it tight. There's already some Loctite on there, that red material in the threads that'll keep it from coming loose. Probably a sealant also, but make sure you put that washer on. So there's the old one. The new one is in. Coolant did come out when I pulled the old part out, but I didn't lose much, if any. It's still right on the line. There's no pressure on the system. Water pump's not turning, so I don't think a lot comes out. And actually, it did stop. So maybe 1/4 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup came out, but that was it. It did stop flowing, and I was able to get the new one back in. You are kind of going blind because you can't see it, so you are trying to find the hole where the new one goes. Make sure you thread it by hand first, get that started, and then put your socket on it. You don't need to high torque that down. It has that crush washer. The old one wasn't tight at all when it came out. So now I'll assemble everything and we'll see what happens. So this part goes on next. You can see we got 3 rubber grommets which go on those 3 rubber pegs. So you just kind of got to line those up and snap them on. And you can use the you got to take the oil cap filler off first. And you can use that to help line it up. There you go. For the top portion, for the breather, you've got the two rubber grommets here. They snap on the back over there. And you also have to line up the intake here with the throttle body down here. And then finally, this to the air filter, and then this little thing here. So try and line those up. You just push on, and then down there, kind of push it down over the throttle body, and then here, there, and then tighten up the screws. All right, we should see the coolant gauge start to move. And it doesn't. I think one of the videos I saw said that you had to clear the codes, which I don't have a code, but I'm going to disconnect the negative side of the battery for a bit and then reconnect it and see what happens. So to get the battery or access to the battery, this cover has to come off. You have to push down on this little thing and this slides off. Kind of push and pull at the same time, and that slides forward. Next is a 10mm socket right here, and then this whole thing comes off. Have that nut out, bolt. You can press on these, and this whole thing slides forward to disengage these tabs, and then you can just kind of lay it out of the way right there. And now you can disconnect your negative cable. So that's disconnected. I'm going to give it 5-10 minutes, go get a cold drink, come back and connect it up again. Okay, that was 10 or 12 minutes. I'm gonna hook the battery back up here now. I should have cleared the codes, and we'll check the gauges inside. All right, let's see if the temp gauge works. Yep. So we can see the gauge did move down. It is working. Temperature gauge has moved down to normal range. And we've got air conditioning. All good. So that's it. Just remember, you will have to clear the codes after to get that sensor to function. Seems like there's some kind of built-in memory of the temperature sensor not working correctly. But once you do that, you should be back in order.